Hey there, Andrew here, welcoming you to another episode of Research and Reviews. Today we're going to talk about the Taser Pulse Plus. The Taser Pulse Plus is a less lethal electronic self-defense weapon. It fires two wire-tethered probes a maximum of 15 feet and delivers a 50,000 volt low amperage charge. The weapon is designed to temporarily disrupt voluntary muscle movements, allowing the user to escape. The Taser Pulse Plus is designed to work in tandem with the Noon Light application. Noon Light senses when the weapon is fired and notifies emergency services on your behalf, and also advises them of your location. Now, Noon Light is a paid service, but is not required for the Pulse Plus to work. Since Noon Light is a paid extra option, I am not including a review of that function in this evaluation. Moving on to the Taser itself, I purchased mine through Amazon for $419 plus tax. It arrived in just a couple of days. In the box was the Taser, 2 cartridges, batteries, and a battery pack assembly. The battery pack took a little study to actually assemble. If you set the insert next to the pack housing, you will notice a notch on the top of the insert. That corresponds to where the wires protrude from the pack itself. This tells you which way to orient the CR123 batteries. Once properly oriented, install the insert. It simply snaps into place. Once assembled, set it aside and remove the battery compartment door by pushing forward towards the front of the Taser. In the grip well, you'll see a connector that mates with the battery pack. Connect the battery pack and orient it so the connecting wires face toward the rear of the Taser. Insert the pack and reinstall the battery compartment door. Flipping the safety to the up position turns on the Taser. An indicator light will illuminate on the rear of the Taser. A flashlight and laser sight will activate on the front. Pulling the trigger will cause an arc across the cartridge contacts. The laser will indicate the point where the top dart will impact the target. The cartridges are contained in a transport housing. To remove the cartridge from the housing, place your index and middle fingers along the outer aspects of the open end of the housing, and with your thumbs, press, and that pops the cartridge out of the housing. To replace it into the housing, just snap it into place. To load the cartridge, make sure the safety is in the down or safe position. Align the cartridge with the front of the Taser and press it into place until you hear a click. During that process, always make sure you don't place your hand in front of that live cartridge. The maximum range of the Pulse Plus is 15 feet, but the optimum range is 8 or 9 feet. The Pulse Plus is very light and looks like a toy. So if you have children around, you want to make sure that you have it under your immediate control or locked in a safe location. The safety mechanism is very easy to disengage, so carrying it loose in a pocket is not ideal. There are a variety of manufacturers that make holsters for the Pulse Plus, including We the People holsters. Now, I'm sometimes asked just how effective are tasers, and the answer is a little bit ambiguous. The most consistent numbers that I've seen seem to indicate that a taser is about 50 to 55% effective in incapacitating an assailant. Now, those numbers may seem alarmingly low, but there are a variety of reasons why a taser might fail, and not all of them are the fault of the taser itself. First, it is possible to miss the target. Second, it's possible to hit with one probe but miss with the other. This is most common when you're firing from the outside range of the weapon. Third, if the weapon is fired too close to the assailant, the prongs might not separate enough to incapacitate a wide enough area of muscle to actually put the assailant down. And fourth, there are those situations where a person just is not affected by the electrical charge. Given all the possible fail scenarios, is a taser actually worth it? Ultimately, that comes down to personal choice. Less lethal options are limited, though. Tasers, pepper spray, contact stun guns, impact weapons. Each of those has their advantages and disadvantages. Personally, I include a taser as one component in my overall defense strategy. It's light, it's easy to deploy, and being able to place that laser dot on the chest of an assailant can sometimes end a conflict before it escalates to violence. Being less lethal also may reduce that tendency to hesitate that one might have when, say, deploying a firearm. A taser is not a guarantee, but when it is used as one component in an overall defense strategy, it can be a helpful self-defense aid.